The crisp sea air mingled with the hum of advanced machinery as I stood on the deck of our research vessel, the Ocean's Whisper. All around me, team members scurried like a colony of ants, each person a crucial element in the grand mechanism of our expedition. The ship itself was a marvel of technology, its sleek design promising depths untold and discoveries yet to be dreamed of. It was impossible not to get caught up in the wave of anticipation that swept through us. Every heart aboard beat in sync with the thrum of the engines preparing to take us into the embrace of the deep. I checked my gear one last time, ensuring everything was secure. The submersible awaited, our modern-day chariot to ferry us through the ancient world below. Maria gave me a nod from across the deck, her eyes reflecting the same resolve and yearning for discovery that fueled my own spirit. We were about to dance with the unknown, and every cell in my body vibrated with readiness. As the submersible descended, darkness enveloped us like a velvet curtain, soothing yet foreboding. Our vessel's lights pierced the void, revealing an otherworldly ballet of life forms that defied human imagination. Bioluminescent jellies floated past, their glow a ghostly beacon in the murky waters. Their delicate forms undulated with ethereal grace, casting eerie shadows that flickered and waned against the submersible's hull. A school of iridescent fish darted by, their scales reflecting our artificial suns in a cascade of prismatic light. They moved as one entity, a shimmering mass that ebbed and flowed with the ocean's unseen rhythms. My breath caught at the sight, a reminder of how small we truly were amidst the vastness of this underwater cosmos. Then, there it was, a creature so alien, it seemed plucked from the realm of dreams. Its serpentine body coiled around the craggy rocks, scales glistening with the colors of 1,000 sunsets. Eyes like polished sapphires observed us with an intelligence that bordered on the divine. It was a silent guardian of the abyss, a testament to the boundless creativity of nature. Remarkable, I whispered to myself, knowing that words were inadequate vessels for the wonders we were witnessing. Here, in the heart of the ocean's secrets, we found a tapestry of life that challenged our understanding of the possible. Each creature was a living jewel, a piece of the puzzle that was this uncharted territory. Our journey was only beginning, but already the sense of awe had rooted itself deep within my soul. These depths were more than a frontier, they were a siren call to explorers like us, beckoning us further into the embrace of the great unknown. The sonar pinged, a rhythmic heartbeat in the tranquil depths, until it didn't. The steady sound we had grown accustomed to during our descent into the abyss faltered, replaced by an irregular pattern that set my pulse racing. I leaned closer to the screen, green eyes narrowing as I traced the erratic blip dancing across the digital grid. A mysterious energy signature, strong and deliberate, was emanating from the ocean floor. It beckoned to me, a siren song of scientific discovery that I couldn't resist. Maria, I thought, knowing my friend would be scrutinizing the data with her meticulous eye. Tension coiled within me, the kind that preceded every monumental discovery. We had ventured far beyond our original mission parameters, and the weight of responsibility bore down on me. Yet, the urgency of our unexpected finding eclipsed any trepidation. This was why we were here, to chase the whispers of the unknown and to grasp at the secrets jealously guarded by the deep. Warnings from our superiors surfaced in my mind, ghostly remnants of cautionary words meant to tether us to the realm of the known. But the allure of the enigma before us was overpowering. I could feel the curiosity coursing through my veins like an electric current, urging me forward. There was no choice but to investigate the enigma before us was too compelling to ignore. With a silent resolve, I turned to face my team. Their faces mirrored my own, a tapestry of excitement and trepidation painted upon the canvas of the uncertain. In their eyes I saw reflections of my own fearless determination. We were pioneers on the precipice of the unexplored, and I felt the mantle of leadership settle upon my shoulders. Without words, I communicated my intent. We would venture forth into this new mystery together. I gave the nod, a silent signal that spoke volumes in the quiet of our submerged vessel. It was time to chart a course into the heart of the unknown, driven by the promise of discovery and the thrill of the chase. The abyss awaited, a darkened realm that held secrets we were destined to uncover. Together we braced for the descent, the weight of the ocean above us nothing compared to the gravity of our task. We plunged deeper, toward the source of the enigmatic pulse, toward a truth that lay hidden in the eternal night of the sea's embrace. The submersible's beams pierced the abyssal gloom, a solitary beacon in the crushing depths. Around us, darkness pressed against the reinforced glass like an insatiable predator, eager to swallow any shred of light. I gripped the controls with steady hands, my resolve unshaken despite the alien world that enveloped us. Captain Foster's eyes were fixed on the sonar, his experience and tacit knowledge our guiding star in this underwater odyssey. We descended silently, save for the soft hum of the vessel's engine and the occasional creak of its hull, speaking the language of pressure and depth. The anticipation was a tangible force within the cramped confines of our craft, each meter we sank drawing us closer to the enigma that lay hidden below. Maria's gaze flitted between her instruments and the dark waters beyond, her calm demeanor a stark contrast to the adrenaline coursing through my veins. Then, as if parting the veil of time itself, our lights unveiled the impossible, an architecture wrought not by human hands, but by a civilization lost to the silt and shadows of the deep sea floor. Columns stood defiant against the weight of the ocean, their intricate carvings reduced to whispers beneath layers of sediment. Structures sprawled across the seabed, hinting at the grandeur of their prime before succumbing to the relentless march of eons. Despite the chill of the deep, warmth spread through me, a blend of awe and reverence for the history that unfolded before our eyes. Here, in this sacred sepulchre of the past, humanity's chronicles paled in comparison. We hovered above the ruins, the silence of our vessel a respectful pause in the hymn of discovery. Captain Foster maneuvered us closer, each movement precise as the rubble of antiquity loomed beneath us. I imagined the lives once teeming among these remnants, a society thriving where now only ghostly echoes remained. What stories were etched into these stones? What wisdom did they hold? Maria documented the sight, her hands deft as she captured images that would surely rewrite textbooks and challenge the very notion of our planet's heritage. The ruins spoke of power, of a realm so advanced yet so utterly alien to our own understanding. What had been their fate, and what forces had consigned them to oblivion? Around us, the abyss held its breath, and I felt the weight of discovery pressing upon my shoulders. We were explorers treading hallowed ground, witnesses to a legacy that time had all but erased. And as we delved deeper into the heart of this submerged empire, I knew our own story was entwining with the legends cradled in the ocean's depths. Our submersible's lights pierced the darkness, revealing an antechamber that seemed untouched by time. My heart thrummed with a mixture of exhilaration and trepidation as I steered us through the waterlogged gateway. It was here, surrounded by towering pillars and fallen arches, that we stumbled upon them, strange artifacts lined along the ocean floor, like breadcrumbs leading into the abyss. I scrutinized the pieces, each one a masterful work of art, their surfaces etched with scenes depicting beings of tremendous size and strength, the Leviathans, as ancient texts had named them. A shiver traced down my spine. Their visages were majestic yet terrifying, a race of sea creatures portrayed with such reverence that it bordered on worship. Maria hovered beside me, her gaze locked onto the hieroglyphs, silent, but I could tell her mind was racing. The significance of our find was monumental. These were not mere myths, they were historical records, tangible proof of the Leviathan's existence. As we documented each piece, the weight of our discovery pressed heavily upon us. Every artifact felt like a harbinger, hinting at the immense power these creatures once held. And with that power, an unspoken warning of the potential dangers that might still lurk in these waters. We pushed forward, drawn to the epicenter of the ruins where an altar-like structure stood solemn and imposing. Without warning, the vessel trembled, and a low hum vibrated through the metal walls. I steadied myself against the console, eyes wide, searching for the source of the disturbance. The instruments flickered erratically, a stark contrast to the steady rhythm they had pulsed with before. Maria pointed to the sonar, her movements sharp with urgency. There it was, an energy signature emanating from beneath the altar, growing stronger by the second. A sense of impending danger washed over me, as if the very ocean around us was holding its breath. Had our presence disturbed something ancient, something meant to remain hidden in these suffocating depths? The humming intensified, resonating with a frequency that seemed to awaken the slumbering giants of lore. I felt it then, a shift in the atmosphere, a current of electricity that raised the fine hairs on my arms. We had unwittingly roused the leviathans from their ageless sleep, and the sanctuary we had marveled at now felt like a tomb sealing shut. The darkness no longer beckoned, it warned, and the ruins whispered of old gods stirring in the deep. The vessel shuddered, a violent tremor that threw me against the control panel, the sharp edge biting into my side. Around me, the team scrambled to regain footing, their faces masks of confusion morphing into terror as the realization dawned this was no natural occurrence. The leviathans had awakened, and with their consciousness came fury. Water churned outside the reinforced glass, once placid and inviting, now a maelstrom of vengeful deities. I caught glimpses of their forms, massive bodies coiling like serpents, scales reflecting the sparse light in eerie flashes. They were beauty incarnate, a tableau of evolution's masterpieces, and yet my heart hammered with the primal instinct to flee. We moved as one, a collective organism driven by survival. My mind raced, recalling every schematic of the vessel, every escape plan ever rehearsed. Maria was at my side, her dark eyes wide but steady, the calm in her gaze anchoring me to the present amidst the chaos. We darted through narrow corridors, our path lit only by the emergency lights that painted our escape in strokes of crimson urgency. Each turn we took was a gamble against a labyrinth designed to protect rather than imprison. The ship groaned under the assault, metal fatigue audible in the creaks and groans that joined the cacophony of destruction. Ceilings buckled, threatening to collapse and seal our fate in an underwater tomb. And there were others, creatures that had lurked unseen until now, drawn out by the disturbance. Predators with translucent flesh and needle-like teeth, they swarmed towards us, emboldened by the Leviathan's wrath. We dodged and weaved, my breaths coming in short gasps, the taste of salt and fear commingling on my tongue. A corridor before us gave way, its structure failing, and rubble crashed down, blocking our path. Heart pounding, I searched for another route, my mind conjuring the blueprints with frantic clarity. There, a maintenance hatch, barely visible under the debris. With strength fueled by adrenaline, we cleared the obstruction, Maria and I grunting with exertion, hands bloodied but determination unyielding. We slipped through the opening, the narrow space a respite from our relentless pursuers. Yet, even here, safety was a fleeting concept. The Leviathan's anger reverberated through the water, a reminder that our journey was far from over. Ahead lay the promise of the abyss, its secrets now a siren call to escape rather than to discover. As we navigated the treacherous depths, each labored breath, each strained muscle fiber, was testament to the fierce will to live. The darkness pressed in, but within it, we found a glimmer of hope, a path upward, away from the Leviathan's domain. Our escape was not yet assured, but we pushed on, knowing that surrender was not an option. The cold of the deep sea had seeped into my bones, a relentless chill that not even fear could dispel. Yet it was fear that propelled us forward, the sensation sharp and jagged as we navigated through narrow fissures in the ocean floor. Our lights cast eerie shadows on the rocks as we moved with a sense of urgency born from the knowledge that mere meters behind us, the Leviathans pursued with unforgiving tenacity. Then, like a soft whisper among the cacophony of our escape, I noticed the subtle shift in the current. It beckoned us toward an alcove, nearly hidden by the undulating seaweed. My heart leapt with hope, pushing past exhaustion. This was it, a passage obscured by time and nature, but undoubtedly there, winding its way upward. Maria caught my eye, and in her gaze I saw mirrored my own relief laced with trepidation. The Leviathans would not relent, but now we had a path to salvation. With renewed vigor, we swam through the passage, the tight confines pressing close like the embrace of a long-lost friend. The darkness above seemed to lighten infinitesimally with each kick of our fins, a promise of the surface drawing nearer. I could almost taste the fresh air, envision the sunlight piercing the water's veil. But then, the silence of our ascent was shattered by the Leviathan's enraged cries, their presence a looming spectre at our heels. They sensed our nearing escape, they hungered for our failure. We pushed harder, muscles burning and lungs aching for oxygen that lay just out of reach. Our pursuers were relentless, a force of nature as ancient as the ruins we dared to disturb. The final stretch was a blur of motion and instinct. We darted between rock formations, avoiding the grasping tendrils of sea life that seemed to conspire with our chasers. The pressure of the deep began to ease, signaling our approach to the surface world. It was here, within the grasp of safety, that the battle reached its apex. The leviathans surged, their massive forms coalescing into a tidal wave of fury. In these moments, thoughts became fragmented, actions automatic. We evaded crushing blows, narrowly escaped being ensnared by the creature's wrath. Each maneuver brought us closer to breaking through the surface. And then, with a burst of effort that drained the last of my strength, we emerged. The transition from oppression to liberation was disorienting. We broke through the barrier between worlds, gasping for air that filled our lungs with sweet, life-giving oxygen. The Leviathan's roars dimmed beneath the waves, their domain once again relegated to the shadows of legend. We floated there amidst the gentle swell of the open sea, our hearts pounding in unison with the waves. Relief washed over me, mingling with the fatigue that made my limbs feel leaden. We had escaped with our lives, though the scars of our encounter would linger, etched into our very souls. As I looked to the horizon, the vastness of the ocean was both a haunting reminder and a call to future endeavors. We had survived, but the mysteries of the deep remained, as unfathomable and compelling as ever.